back here good.
And if I would warn you, his place makes my skin crawl as much as you do.
Just leave, Gabby.
Oh, I am leaving. And on this Thanksgiving, I am grateful that I never have to see your miserable face again or spend another minute in this depressing mausoleum.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I'll be doing another episode recap for today's Days of Our Lives, November 27, 2024. So we see Chanel and Paulina, right? So Chanel is over there to give, Paulina some chocolate turkeys. I guess it's some part of their family tradition. So it goes way back. So of course she's excited to get them. So of course she's gonna celebrate Thanksgiving over her husband's family place, and even though it's not gonna be as fun as over at her mom's place, she has to be by her husband. So she asks how Abe is doing. Has he recovered? So Paulina is saying that he's doing well, he's recovered and all that. So she's happy to hear that. So Chanel also mentions that Johnny is also recovered, and Paulina doesn't want to hear about how Johnny's feeling, and she's like, maybe he deserved that. So of course Chanel took it away, and she's like, why would you wish that on him? And she's like, maybe he deserved it after the way he treated you and the insulting words he said to you. So she's like, I don't really want to hear those words again. It's triggering, and we're trying to move past that. I've forgiven him, and I'm sticking by my husband. I love him and all that. So of course she tells Paulina that they are committed, they're staying together. Of course Paulina doesn't want to hear that, because she believes that he really hurt her and she's just looking out. I mean, Paulina is right on one side as a mother, but as a parent, we have to learn to back out or butt out of our children's life, especially if they're grown adults. They have to make their own decisions and mistakes and all that, and we can't be intervening in that. They have to figure out themselves. They're a married couple, so you gotta have some boundaries, step back a bit, right? Let them work it out. So anyways, Chanel says just seeing him sick and everything, she just knows that she wants to stay by him. She loves him. She wants to care for him and all that. So, they're working it out, and, Paulina understands, and Paulina says, as long as you're happy, that's all I care about. So she did say she was going to go back home, and Paulina mentions that Eli and Lonnie are on their way with the kids, so she hopes to see Chanel back, and Chanel said that she will be back to see them because she really wants to see them and eat dessert there and all that. So Joy is in the square, and she's talking to her mom on the phone. Her mom is just asking what she's doing for Thanksgiving. So she said that she doesn't really have no plans. She just sitting in the square, just being alone. She said even though the Brady's invited her over, she just really wanted to just be alone for the holidays. So of course her mom is asking her to come to New York, but she said she can't go. She has a lot of work stuff to do and all that, and she's warning her to stay away from married men. And she said, of course, I learned my lesson. So speaking of married men, Johnny just pops up. So she comes off the phone, and she is asking Johnny how's he feeling. She heard that he's been recovering, and he said he's all good. So she said, I also heard from Chanel that you were having a dream about me. Care to tell me what the dream was about? So I said, I really don't want to go down that road and all that. So at some point she tells Johnny that she told somebody because the guilt was eating her up and she couldn't take it no longer. She was just there with the two of them, and she just couldn't. She had to confide in somebody. So she told Johnny after some prodding that it was Alex. So he's shocked because he's saying that they're friends, he could tell her. And she said no, he promised not to tell her. He doesn't want to see Chanel hurt, so we're all good. So he's like, I hope you're right about this. So at some point Chanel comes up and is like, right about what? So they make up yet another lie about how they hope that they catch the person who caused the whole tainted cupcakes and everything, right? So Chanel says that I hope they do, and fortunately it has no link to my bakery, and we went through something similar last year when one of my employees, who I trusted as a friend and all that, kind of messed up my business, with this whole poison donuts. I think it was biscuits or something like that. So she is just more tough on, background checks for employees and all that. So anyways, she and Johnny are about to go to the Mirror Mansion to have dinner for Thanksgiving. So she asked Joy if she had any plans. So she said, no, I'm just gonna eat this sandwich. She said, no, not on Thanksgiving, and my mom would be mad at me if I didn't, see you here and not invite you over. It's not good hospitality. And besides, your mom told us to like look out for you and all that. So this would be something like that. And Joy was insisting not to take her up on her offer, and Johnny was also saying, she said no, let's just move on. So she's like, no, I said so, and I'm not gonna take no for an answer, so you're coming with us. So once again, Chanel is just imposing too much, and this is just not going to work out really well. She told Paulina earlier about how she's glad Johnny didn't cheat, and they can move past this. It was just a mistake on his part, and he feel bad. I mean, she's gonna be devastated when she hears the truth. She's really, really trusting, and she's been inviting this girl more than normal. It's just not gonna look good for them. So Javi was on his way to get some dinner rolls for the Thanksgiving dinner at the Hernandez place. So he noticed that there's a private dinner going on at the pub. So he asked Rafe where he could go. So Rafe said he could go to the Salem Inn to go get the dinner rolls. So while he was about to do that, Leo comes over. Of course, he doesn't want to have nothing to say to Leo, but Leo again apologizes for how he acted towards him. And he thought that before he accused them, he thought that they really had something special, and Harry thought so too. But then, the way how Leo treated him and insulting him made him feel, less than worthy. Like he's not with it. He's not gonna let nobody treat him that way. So Leo said it's not a mistake, and I'm used to making mistakes regularly, but this wasn't a mistake. So anyways, Javi said he doesn't want anything to do with him and washes his hand clean of him and just walks away. So Alex comes out of the pub and he sees Leo. So he's like, I didn't know you guys are having Thanksgiving dinner with the Bradys. So he said, yeah, it was a last minute decision, but I had to get out some fresh air because, Stephanie was in there and things are getting kind of too uncomfortable. So he's like, I thought, you guys were good and I was pushing you guys together. So he's like, it's not about what we did a while back. It's about Philip being in there, and I just learned that Philip and Stephanie were engaged. So it's like, oh, so it's like things are kind of awkward in there. So I needed, some fresh air. I couldn't stand in there. So anyways, Leo said, I can understand that, and I'm just out here because of my own actions. So he asked him what's going on. So he said that he was with this guy, he thought he found Mr. Right, but he blew it by accusing him of stealing his soap opera ideas and putting it on a column. So things just ended really bad and quickly. So he's sorry to hear about that. He said he doesn't know how this is going to be fixed, but he said he can try to solve the problem about who actually is acting as lady whistleblower. So he said, how am I going to do that? So he's like, come on, if anybody knows how to be sneaking out, that you know how to do that. So he did invite him in to have some dinner with him. So he's like, I thought you said you wanted me to go and find out who's behind this little whistleblower thing. So he said, yes, but you can also stop to eat and all that. So he's like, I'm not really hungry, neither will I be grateful until I find who is behind this whole thing. So Javi finally comes back with the rolls, and Rafe is at home making this beautiful dish for Thanksgiving. So he's upset, and Rafe asks him what's going on. So he's like, he said, well, Rafe asked him, how's it going in town? Is it busy? So he's like, not really, but I did run into Leo, which was very uncomfortable for me. And he was trying to say sorry for all that. So, it just wasn't a really pleasant interaction. So anyways, they're just there talking about the whole dinner get up and all of that. And at this point, Jada comes in because they weren't so sure about Jada because of course she's a commissioner. It's a lot busier on the holidays and all that. So it wasn't a certainty that she would be joining them for dinner, but they'd hope, right? Because at this point, Gabby's also running an errand, so she would join them later. Fortunately, Jada comes, in time, and, she said life as a commissioner is not really, it definitely is busy, and Rafe definitely understands because, he used to be that. So, anyways, she sees the dish and he lets her try it and she's enjoying it. So, he also shares with them that he got a new job. So Steve actually sought him out to be the some private eye operative in, Black Patch. So we know this makes sense because, John used to be Steve's partner in Black Patch, and because, the actor died recently, they have to find somebody else to partner up with Steve to help with the private investigations in the town and all that. So they're happy for him, and Harvey just made this ill-fated joke that was a little bit too soon. So he's like, now you can feel a little bit less guilty about stealing his job. And he's like, too soon? And he's like, yep, too soon. But anyways, he's happy for him, and he's like, I hope this doesn't affect you guys' relationship. So they're saying nothing like that's gonna happen. So he's like, I watched this telenovela, the soap opera that was similar to you guys' situation, and the thing about it wasn't really a happy ending and all that. So I hope, I don't think it's gonna happen to you guys, but let's see, guys. So remember the errand that Gabby was supposed to be taking care of? Apparently it was over the Demare mansion. So, if anybody can get on the EJ skin, it is Gabby. So Gabby rushes in and she's like, I realize my key don't work. So he's like, I really spent a good penny on that locksmith. He really did the job, to get riffraff out of here. So she's like, well, this riffraff is going to collect her property, which I am entitled to. So he's like, not before you apologize to me. So she's like, apologize for what? I told you I wasn't going to apologize for you, to you the other day. I'm not going to do it now. So he's like, you do owe me an apology. Like, you accused me of ruining your marriage. And she's like, what you did, you let me spend time away from Stefan, and that messed up our marriage. And then you also put further distance between me and Stefan. You sabotage it. So he's like, oh wow. So she's like, you admitted it. So he's like, no, I just played into your feelings because it's psychology. Like, I just playfully admit that I did something, and it just kind of just to ease your conscience and whatever. So anyway, she's saying that, you're to blame and all that. And I'm like saying, she's still on this thing where she's not taking accountability. She seduced EJ. He didn't come on to her. And another thing is, okay, maybe he has sent you to jail and all that, but you have to take some responsibility. You ran away, Stefan. You also slept with his brother. Like, come on. You also messed up the marriage. But anyway, she doesn't want to take responsibility, and she's blaming EJ solely for this thing. So she went upstairs to get her things, and then EJ just, said, hurry up and come out of this place. And he throws her jacket and everything. So he's like, good riddance. So she's like, on this Thanksgiving, I'm grateful I don't got to see your miserable face again, and I don't have to be in this mausoleum. So he's like, whatever, and whatever. There's no love lost between these two. So Gabby finally comes over back to her house, and they were asking where she was. So she said she was just getting the rest of her things at the mansion. So they get a knock at the door. Harvey opens it. Harvey again is just surprised. Well, he's like, Leo is there, so he's like, I told you I don't want to see you. So Leo just puts him down easy and says, I'm not here to see you. So he just comes in and he said, I'm here to see your cousins. So he's like, Gabby said, no, Rafe. So Rafe is like, what's up? So he's like, I just talked to Steve, and Steve said that you're working with him for Black Patch. So I need to hire you. So he's like, for what? So he's like, to find out who this new lady whistleblower is. So the infamous trouble, the informal trouble, I should call them, because at this point they're walking as a trouble for me. Johnny, Chanel, and Joy, right? So Johnny just saw Gabby leave, so he's like, Gabby left out in a hurry. So he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. So Chanel comes in, they have some stuff for the dinner, so she asked Johnny to go get the pie. So they went and go get the pie. So it leaves EJ and Joy to talk, right? So Joy and EJ go into the next room and he's asking her if she wants something to drink. So she said, yes, some club vodka. So he's saying, I take it you used to grow up in Salem. So she said, no, I was a baby when I left here. So I'm really not familiar with here. So he's like, okay, good. So you can leave then. So she said, excuse me, Chanel insisted that I come over with them. I told her no, but she insisted. I couldn't say, I couldn't not take up her offer. So he's like, no, I don't think you understand me. I think you need to leave town immediately. So she's like, I don't understand. He said, since you're around my son, I know what you guys did. And my son is guilty, and it's even more exacerbated when you're around him and all that. So I think it's best that you leave town. He was here first. So she's like, I can't do that. I have a work commitment and it would be a breach of contract. So he's like, I'm a good lawyer. I can sort out the contract. I can buy it out. What's your price and all that. So, you need to take me up on this offer. So at this point, Johnny and Chanel come in and they're like, is everything okay? So EJ's like, no, everything is good. We're getting acquainted. So the dinner is getting started and the Johnny and Chanel leave. So when Joy decides to go ahead with them, EJ pulls her back and EJ said, you need to think about my offer, right? So shall we eat? So of course she was uncomfortable. So, one thing with EJ, he can be very intimidated at times, and I believe that it's not just Joy, it's Johnny, and Johnny needs to take accountability for his action. He's the one that needs to come clean to, his wife. He's the one that owes her loyalty, not really Joy. The only reason why Joy needs to come clean is that she and Chanel are getting closer as friends and all of that. But before that, Johnny should have been the one to tell his wife the truth. Joy doesn't really owe her loyalty. But they always pile it up on the woman and not the man that actually did the cheating and went out of his marriage. Anyways, guys, that is it for today. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow for an all new Days of Our Lives recap. Happy Thanksgiving when it comes.
If you smoked, you take this deal.